Shalom, want to start off souls by giving no praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of great most and honors to brothers doing the work, the most on truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh, and the son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushua, Ba meaning in, Ha meaning then, Shah meaning names to Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. This one is inspired. I was with a colleague today. He was helping me out with something. Lord set certain people up, to help you with things, in this world. But yeah, I was with him, but he was just kind of talking and everything. And although he didn't say too much in regards to, his ex-wife, the little that he did say, all I could just think is, man, you got these broads out here just, breaking men's hearts, right? And it made me think about something that's been said many a time, which is, in these last days, right, you're gonna have a lot of men that are gonna be seeking revenge, man, right? There's a lot of people out here in this world that have a bone to pick with, with a lot of these women out here, man. Right, and when the Lord opens up on these broads, yo, it's gonna get nasty, man. Right, because when you even look at it in Sirach 25th chapter, right, it says this, right, Sirach 23 and in fact, our spirit is actually a perfect precept. 23 actually, right. Sirach 25 and 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Right? And this is all true, man. Right? And hey, none of these women out here are righteous. Right? None of them. They're all damn wicked. Right? And it's just, yo, when the time comes, right, once again, there's gonna be a lot of men out here that are gonna go out and they're gonna get their revenge, right? You've got women turning children on their father, right? You got women, there was one case that I saw where what was it, man, it just escaped me. But yeah, the point is, you got women using Esau's wicked ass system, right, against fathers, right, against men in general, right. And Esau's gonna have to pay for that as well. So Isaiah 10 says, "Woe unto them that decree and righteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed," right. And that's it, right? Esau's got all of these dodgy ass laws that he's written, right? Because he's basically been given the power to do so. But the Lord's saying, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." Right? Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless, right? And then there was one as well that I was thinking of as I was speaking. Yeah. I think it's in the no, it's not this account. I'm just trying to find the law. Let me just find it real quick. Right, yeah. So this is Exodus 22. Sorry, it's Exodus 21. Right. And I'll read 10. I was going to jump straight to 11, but it kind of misses a little bit of the context, right? It says, "And if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish," right? This, obviously covering the point, that a man is able to have many women, right? That's his, quite literally his God-given right. But he still has to take care of the first, right? He has to make sure she's upkept. That's why, for instance, the scripture says all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. Because you've got multiple wives, guess what? You got to take care of them all, right? And then it goes on saying, "If you do not these three unto her, then she shall go out free without money," right? She basically goes out with nothing, man. But it's not like in this world where Esau's prescribed these dodgy rules where she's able to take half your shit. And in fact, even as I'm saying that, man, I remember I worked with another geezer, right? He was through because of a woman as well, right? His ex-wife basically had taken, I think she had taken quite a bit of money from this other guy, right? But like I said, when I was just listening to this guy talk, like you could see the pain, in his eyes, because for him it wasn't just the fact of the woman, right? He had children with this woman, right? And you could, just like I said, just listening to him talk, I was like, man, you capturing it right now, man, right? And when society breaks down, you never know what a man may do. I'll just say it like that, because this is a thing, right? The scriptures say that this is going to be a time like never before, right? Just read that, right? Daniel 12:1. At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Okay, then Michael's the archangel, and this is also a statement of comfort for us as well. Such this and the end of this verse also, right? The Lord is actually going to set up Michael the archangel to stand up for his people, right? Because why? He says, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time, right, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So it's going to be like a time like never before seen, right? And as we can get in, did I think I made the point on that, right? As we get also in not Isaiah 32:6, Jeremiah 32:6, right? 30:6, Salakia. Got there in the end, right? Jeremiah 30:6, it says, this of a man ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all face are turned into paleness, right? And it goes on to say, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So, it's talking about a, basically roughly the same time period, right? So, in this time, a man is going to be through, right? These men that ain't of the Lord, right, that are just going to be out here, they're going to be through, right? It says, as you saw there, whether a man doth travail with a child. But Jeremiah seen it, he was like, yo, man, why are these men so damn through? Okay. Why? Because it was because of the times that's going to be. So if you imagine that's the position that a man's going to be in, how much more so these broads, right? So as you saw, I had Isaiah 32:9 open. I'm actually going to read it in the NLT. Just the way it's written, man. So this is Isaiah 32:9 in the NLT, right? It says, listen, you women who lie around in ease, listen to me, right? You who are smug, right? And why are they smug? Right, let's get an example. This is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall come past a man. Now Esau set up this system whereby a woman has come past a man. A woman is in an authority seat over a man, right? So these women have been given a newfound power, right? And then you've watched them films or them TV programs or whatever, where like someone who's not supposed to have the power has the power and they start abusing it. Okay, you think of King Joffrey in Game of Thrones, for example, right? When the individual now has power over someone that then they don't normally have power over. What do? They become power drunk, right? So that's why that's why they're so proud. That's why they're smug, right? But what are the prophets coming out and saying? It's like, okay, cool, right? Well, yeah, you be proud, but guess what? Your time of pride, your time of ease, right, is coming to an end. Okay, right? And if you don't get with the man of the Lord, then you through, right? In fact, let's load up that as well. Oh, in fact, while it's I'll read it. Just quite tangent, but let me read it's Proverbs 6:34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. right? And I loaded this one up, just also because, talking about how you've had all of these, women coming out here and just, messing men over. Part of that is in that adultery, right? Which this the couple of verses above this is going into. But hey, that jealousy, man, that once again, in that day, a lot of women are gonna they ain't gonna be in good case. Let me just put it like that. You're gonna have a lot of men that are gonna be out here seeking revenge for adultery, right? For just straight up wickedness, man, right? Keeping their children away from them, spewing bad words into their children, making their children hate them, right? You think, part of the rage, she's gonna have a lot of men with a lot of rage that is pent up, man, right? So things gonna get a real bad. What did I have? You read this. So let's carry on. I think I was going to get some, but it escapes me now. It says, in a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care, and that's it, right? When the C19 started happening, men started getting phone calls, being like, "Look, man, hey, just take care of me." That's what I wanted to load up the water. Right? Because that's the time that's coming. It says, so yeah, they're gonna start caring. Another thing that came out as well is, in a lot of these jobs that are going, right? Because when you read Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter goes into how, the grinding shall cease. But a lot of the jobs that go first are these jobs that women do, right? And especially when you consider that a lot of companies have done diversity, equity, and inclusion type hiring, right? Where basically they've lowered the standard so that a diversity role can be filled instead, right? When that company has to cut roles, guess what? Guess who goes? Those broads. You see the infamous picture of which fuck Elon Musk, but the infamous picture of Elon Musk in a room late at night where all you see is just bare men, bare dudes, right? Whereas before at Twitter you was just seeing pictures of like loads of broads, right? But you know what those broads were doing? That was basically fuck all, right? Or things that don't move the needle, right, as they say in the corporate world, right, things that don't move the needle in terms of building new things. Okay, so over the C19, a lot of the women that a lot of the people that are losing jobs are women, right? So when this time comes, that's what you're going to be seeing also. It says, for your crops will fail and the harvest will never take place, right? So also what you're going to be seeing is all of these schemes that he has set up for these broads. He's gonna make it, those things ain't gonna be producing the same way, right? You got certain broads, they just chilling, they just living life, living good, just on the Section 8 or the whatever, what have you. Okay. It says, tremble ye women of ease, throw off your complacency, and that's it, man. Just out here hella complacent, man, right? Hella complacent, no care in the world, because he's created a society, right, wherein they don't need to care, right? Where they don't have any what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have any uh repercussions to their actions. To strip off your pretty clothes and put on burlap to show your grief, right? It says, beat your breast in sorrow, for your bountiful arms and your fruitful grapevines. For your land will be overgrown with thorns and briars. Your joyful homes and happy towns will be gone, right? And when I was, in fact, let me read the next one as well. It says, the palace and the city will be deserted, right? And busy towns will be empty. While donkeys will frolic and flocks will graze in the empty forts and watchtowers. And when I was reading this, I was thinking about how, the apostles broke down that, metropolis, mother cities, how these cities are really designed for women. Okay. And then I was reading that and I was thinking about, say, your Londons, your New Yorks or whatever, right, being empty, right? And then all of a sudden they that ease and comfort, right, that these women have been accustomed to goes as well, right? That safety that they feel in this city, these cities that are always watched, right? There's cameras everywhere, right? There are certain places out, outside these cities in these towns where, hey, being real, you once you out on your own, hey, you're rolling the dice, man. Right? Is this the day that some madman's gonna come and take me, or is it not? Bro, in these cities, you got that false sense of security, but in that day, man. But that's why the scriptures say this, right? It's Isaiah 4:1. It says, "And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." Right? And this is going into, the fact that when shit starts really hitting the fan, these women were just going to start flocking to men of the Lord, right? When you read the account in Isaiah 13, it says, a man shall be more precious than a golden wedge of Ophir. You read Isaiah 32, it says, a man shall be a covert against the wind, right? Against a tempest, right? And of course, this is all talking about Israelite men of the elect, right? Why? Because Isaiah 33:6, right? Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of that time. So Isaiah 65:13, right? My servant shall eat. So women are gonna see that there's something different about brothers, and they ain't gonna be wanting to be partaking in this hell, right? That's gonna be happening, right? So they're gonna try and attach themselves to a man of the Lord, a man that is gonna be, okay in that day. But guess what? Right? In that day, a brother's gonna be hella picky, man. Right? Because once again, there's a lot of broads out here that have done a lot of dirty in this world. Just out here breaking hearts, man. Right? And out here basically putting a target on yourself. Right? Because Esau's told you that you're equal to a man, that you can just get away with whatever, but it's gonna come a day when that getting away won't be the case anymore. Right? So like I said, just a quick one, and I'm not being that quick, but yeah, man, a lot of women gonna get it in these last days, man. So till the next time we say Shalom.